To configure a resilient inline arrangement, click the Settings button at the top right side of the window. On the Canvas Settings configuration window, begin by marking the checkbox for Show Resilient Inline Menu. This will reveal all of the parameters required to configure the Resilient Inline Arrangement's crossbox connection and inform GigaVUE-FM that this type of configuration is required. GigaVUE-FM will make additional configurations in the background to support this at the time the Canvas configuration is deployed. The Node 1 configuration field is pre-configured with the appliance which was highlighted when Show Resilient Inline Menu was opened. Use the drop-down list to select the available inline bypass pathway configured on Node 1. Also, use the drop-down lists to select an appliance for Node 2 and the available inline bypass pathway configured on Node 2. As soon as GigaVUE-FM knows which the second appliance will be, then it knows where the mappings being configured for Node 1 should be duplicated. You do not have to configure another set of mappings on the other appliance. This automatic duplication is possible because the maps and aliases are in the same order for traffic distribution. Accept the default for the hashing source. This setting determines whether traffic on inline network port A or port B will be used for the hashing algorithm that distributes traffic. Choose whichever side will have the greatest density of IP addresses or Layer 4 ports as determined by the next parameter. Accept the default for the hashing type. As just suggested, this parameter determines whether hashing uses Layer 3 IP addressing or Layer 4 port numbers to divide traffic flows for distribution. Accept the default for the hashing LSB node. This parameter chooses either a 0 and the lowest bit in an IP address to distribute traffic to Node 1 or Node 2, or all traffic with odd port numbers will be distributed to Node 1 or Node 2 as configured on this window. By default, all traffic from IP addresses ending with 0 will be hashed to Node 2. This is why choosing whichever port has the most IP addresses is appropriate for the hashing source. More IP addresses means that a more balanced distribution of traffic going to both appliances. Click OK to save the configuration. This simple configuration example is now complete and ready to be deployed. To deploy the configuration, click the Deploy button at the top right corner of the window. A pop-up window will appear. This window is asking whether the traffic path should be temporarily set to logical bypass while the configuration changes are written, or if the current configuration for physical bypass and traffic path should be applied immediately. It is highly recommended that the temporary use of logical bypass be accepted to prevent a slight disruption of the production network traffic flow while the configuration is applied. However briefly, while in logical bypass, all traffic will be forwarded into the protected network uninspected. Check with the security team to see if the link should instead be brought down during a maintenance window to ensure that all packets are inspected. Click OK to use the suggested temporary logical bypass traffic path settings and apply the configuration. Until success is reported, do not leave this screen. If the configuration is not successfully deployed and you have gone to another screen, then you will have to recreate the mappings. As long as you stay on this screen, GigaVUE-FM remembers the configuration and it can be edited or another deploy attempt can be made.